So, you want to learn Jesus together with other people. That's what this video is all about. It's one thing to say, hey, I want to practice reading the Gospels together or doing, but it's a whole nother thing sometimes to invite other people to do this with you. It can be really intimidating. And part of the reason we created this resource is to make it as simple as possible. So, before we get into the how, two things I want you to think about. One, who are the people naturally that you could have the kind of conversations about Jesus that you're hoping to have as you walk through the Lenten journey? Chances are you've got family or friends, people who are close enough to you already that the biggest risk you need to take is just say, hey, would you do this with me? Why don't you take a moment and even you could write down a couple of names. Who are some people that you can invite to do this with you? Because this journey begins with making room to practice this way of Jesus with other people. The how is actually going to be really easy, and this resource is built to structure it this way. Let me show you our learning cycle. So the learning cycle is a repeatable rhythm for you to do with other people to help grow and practice the way of Jesus with other people. There's 4 phases of this, and you'll see that our Right Now Media content is built to follow this rhythm so that you don't have to think about what to do. You can just step into it and go along. Our first step. Reflecting is about thinking about what you've done. Now, at the first part of this, a lot of the conversation that we've set up on Right Now Media is about what you hope to get out of the process. But every other time you meet together, the first thing that you do, maybe you have coffee or a meal, or you tell stories or you have small talk, but once you start, we start with reflecting about what we've done since the last time we were together. In this particular season, we're talking about reading the Gospel of Mark. We're talking about praying for the lost. We're talking about blessing those in need around us. And we're going to talk about how it went. What did we learn? Where did we have victories or challenges? Where did we see Jesus at work? All of these types of questions. And the questions are going to be built right into Right Now Media to help you reflect on what's happened since the last time you were together. There's going to be some really rich and fun conversation come out of this. And you're going to begin to get a sense of where God's already at work, not just in yourself, but in some of the people around you. Our second step, learning. Now, this is where we want to intentionally learn together. In this particular module, we've set this up to where there's a video from Francis Chan and some follow-up questions that are there built into Right Now Media. So watch the video together. You can watch it on a TV using like your Roku or Apple TV. You can pull up a laptop. You could all watch it on your phones together. There's lots of ways to do this, but watch that video. And if you don't want to watch a video, if you're like, let's just talk about the Gospel of Mark, great. Read the text together and talk about what you're seeing. But you'll see there's some learning questions to kind of help you go through so that you don't have to come up with content, but instead you can read those questions and just reflect on those things. It'll be the same questions every week. And that way you can get used to coming back and having the same conversations about what God is revealing to you through your learning. The planning step is about making sure that you know what you're going to do once you leave to set up the next time of learning together. And so some of this could be things that God reveals to you. The 2 big questions we always come back to is, what is God revealing to me? And how am I supposed to respond? Like, is there a next step of faith that I need to take as a part of what God's revealing to me? This will help you just practically follow Jesus in some of the ways that he is speaking to you through his word and through these practices. But the other thing that you're committing to do is to say, hey, what are we reading between now and then? What else are we committing to do? Remember, our 3 practices in this season are to read Mark together, to pray for the lost, and to bless those in need. And so every week you'll say, hey, these are the chapters we're reading. You're going to say, this is the lost. Maybe you take some time. This is who I'm praying for. And you pray together as part of your wrap up. You look for opportunities to bless, and then you set course to do that. Because once you leave your meeting, you're going to go practice these things until you come back together. Practice is the most simple step. It's the thing that all of us have to take ownership for, that I'm going to go out and do the things. But I know that there's a conversation ahead. I know we're going to come back together to reflect on what we've been doing. So what that does is it gives encouragement, it gives accountability, and also helps raise my attentiveness and awareness in the world. I start looking for people to bless. I start praying for people to come to know Jesus. I start thinking more deeply about what I'm reading in Mark and how it applies to my life. So I want you to look at this and think, who could I invite into this path with me? This is something that you can do on your own, but I'm telling you, the real amazing growth is going to happen when you invite 1, 2, 3 people to join you in this journey. We have some groups at Orchard Hill that are doing this together, but I would say if you don't want to join a group, the easiest thing to do is say, who are the people that I'm already kind of learning with, that I'm elbow to elbow with every day? And could they join me in doing these simple things together? And we'll get together, we'll have conversations, we'll plan a time to reflect on what we're learning and to learn together and to plan how we can follow Jesus and practice his ways together. There's going to be incredible community and synergy in that, and it's just going to be such a fruitful thing. This resource exists to be passed on to others. And look, if people need access to Right Now Media, there's going to be a link here that you can send them directly an invite to Right Now Media, or reach out to me at Orchard Hill. I would love to make sure that you have access to everything that you would need so that you can journey with other people. But the bottom line in this is simple. We have to be intentional pursuers of Jesus. And this is an incredible season to say, let's set aside between now and Easter to fix our eyes on Christ and to learn deeply from him. If you have any questions about how you can use this resource better, let me know. And we're praying for you to have an incredible Lenten journey together.